How to make a narcissist with a narcissist. You know the uphill battle they present. These crafty individuals possess a knack for bending others to their will, leaving a trail of hurt in their wake. But fret not, for there are ways to make them rue the day they crossed you. It might not be as Herculean as it seems, but it does demand some strategic finesse. So, without further ado, here are 10 potent methods to ensure a narcissist truly regrets their actions. First and foremost, grasp the chance to thrive in a world free from their toxic grasp. To elicit genuine remorse from a narcissist, start by embracing a life that flourishes sans their influence. Surround yourself with those who authentically care, who see you for who you are and uplift your journey. Remember, you're the star of your own story, not a supporting role in their drama. Cast off any lingering guilt and immerse yourself in soul-nourishing pursuits. Venture on escapades with kindred spirits, bask in nature's embrace, indulge in films that spark your imagination. Embrace the truth. You're deserving of so much more than they could ever provide. Joy, fulfillment, liberation. Take a deep breath and let this revelation propel you towards a life untethered from their shadow. Next, endeavour to ascend to a higher plane of existence, one that eclipses their shallow facade. Narcissists are adept at donning masks of benevolence while concealing their selfish, manipulative nature. They spare no expense in pursuit of their selfish desires, heedless of the collateral damage left in their wake. If your aim is to instill regret in them, strive to surpass them in every aspect. Tap into your reservoir of resilience and transcend their toxicity by embodying kindness, empathy, and genuine concern for others. Through unwavering commitment to these virtues, you diminish their power, laying bare their true insignificance. Remember, perfection may be unattainable, but focus instead on the strides you've made, emerging stronger and wiser from the crucible of their influence. The third invaluable pointer revolves around unapologetically asserting yourself. When aiming to prompt a narcissist to rue their actions, asserting your boundaries takes precedence. Narcissists thrive on domination and control, so when you assert your autonomy, it disrupts their power dynamic. Beware of their manipulative ploys, crafted to gaslight you into believing that you are at fault while they play the victim. Stay vigilant and refuse to be ensnared in their web of deceit. If someone consistently diminishes your worth or subjects you to ridicule, it's time for a paradigm shift. Refuse to tolerate mistreatment simply because they struggle to find others willing to endure their reprehensible behavior. If someone lacks respect and compassion, they forfeit any claim to your loyalty or companionship. Moving on to the fourth fundamental principle, radiate self-assurance and independence. To evoke genuine remorse in a narcissist, unwavering self-belief is key. When you exude confidence, it becomes arduous for others to undermine your self-worth. This doesn't entail arrogance, but rather steadfast self-assurance that renders their attempts to diminish you futile. Their futile efforts will leave them grappling with regret for the harm they've caused. Furthermore, nurturing self-sufficiency and refusing to depend on others for validation or happiness is crucial. Narcissists employ deceitful tactics to convince you of your reliance on them. However, in reality, you are a self-contained entity capable of finding fulfillment and joy independent of their manipulative influence. The fifth crucial strategy revolves around self-nurturing. The journey you've undertaken has been fraught with deception, betrayal, and manipulation. While it's natural to feel hurt and enraged, it's vital not to allow these negative emotions to engulf your essence. Prioritizing self-nurturing becomes a pivotal step in eliciting remorse within a narcissist for their transgressions. Sustaining a positive outlook amidst the mistreatment inflicted by a narcissist may seem daunting, Yet it's entirely achievable. One of the foremost actions required involves caring for yourself. This entails fueling your body with nourishing foods, engaging in regular physical activity, and ensuring ample rest. Indulge in activities that bring you genuine pleasure, whether it's indulging in a massage or taking tranquil strolls in nature. Surround yourself with supportive loved ones who genuinely prioritize your well-being. By immersing yourself in endeavors that ignite joy and cultivate your physical and mental well-being, the manipulation tactics of narcissists gradually lose their potency. By placing your own needs at the forefront and nurturing your overall health, you shatter their control and reclaim your inner strength. Now on to the sixth strategy. Never apologize to a narcissist again. Masters of manipulation, narcissists excel in inducing guilt and convincing you that you're at fault. If you've ever offered an apology to a narcissist, you're familiar with their uncanny knack for twisting your words and warping reality, leaving you doubting your own value. Yet, it's crucial to realize that narcissists aren't the victims here. They're the perpetrators of harm, and they must be held responsible for their actions. Resist the urge to apologize or justify yourself when they attempt to undermine your worth. Apologizing for actions that warrant no remorse or failing to assert yourself in the face of mistreatment relinquishes control over your life, allowing them to perpetuate their dominance. Moving on to number 7, embrace silence and disregard their existence. The most potent tool for making a narcissist rue their actions towards you is to give them the silent treatment and ignore their very existence. If you find their presence unbearable, create distance. Use that time to tend to your own needs, cultivate deeper connections with supportive friends and caring family. Surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift and encourage you is paramount, while steering clear of those who breed negativity. As the narcissist perceives your indifference to their manipulations, they'll grapple with the realization of their own mistakes and the emptiness they now face without you. This inner turmoil will torment them, possibly prompting them to seek your forgiveness sooner than expected. Moving on to number 8. Cultivate unyielding strength and laser-focused determination to elicit remorse from a narcissist. Upholding emotional fortitude becomes essential, even when their actions provoke anger or sorrow within you. Revealing vulnerability to a narcissist only provides them with ammunition for further exploitation. Instead, redirect your energy towards pursuits that ignite joy and personal advancement. Narcissists crave dominance and control. Deny them these cravings. Shift your focus away from their toxic influence, dedicating yourself to constructing a life that reflects your authentic self. Number 9. Refrain from showering them with praise and compliments, exposing their flaws and missteps instead. Flattery nourishes the narcissist's ego and validates their behavior. To incite remorse within them, deprive them of this validation. Avoid bolstering their ego with compliments. Instead, highlight and accentuate their weaknesses and mistakes. This uncomfortable truth will sow seeds of insecurity, making their presence around you uneasy. If they persist in their manipulative maneuvers, stand firm in your convictions. Break free from their grasp by refusing to let their influence dictate your self-worth. 10th on our list, defy their expectations and push back against their demands. Narcissists thrive on manipulation and control, exerting relentless pressure to shape you according to their desires. When faced with a narcissist's relentless pursuit, where refusal seems impossible, stand firm and unyielding. Reject their attempts to force you into compliance. Hold your ground with conviction, refusing to grant them authority over your decisions. If you're caught in a situation where someone incessantly demands something you cannot provide, handle it gracefully by firmly and politely expressing your lack of interest. Stay steadfast in your stance, resisting their pleas. Establishing healthy boundaries is an act of self-preservation that benefits both parties. Clearly communicate these boundaries, emphasizing their importance for your personal growth and well-being. If the other person refuses to respect your boundaries, it's completely acceptable to end the conversation and remove yourself from the situation. You don't owe them any justification or explanation for your decision. By standing strong in your refusal to comply with their demands and expectations, you have the power to make them regret their harmful behavior. Remember, nobody should endure abuse or mistreatment, and if you find yourself in such circumstances, it's crucial to hold on to hope and seek healthier alternatives. By embracing these empowering strategies, you can prompt a narcissist to feel remorse for their actions towards you. Take control of your life and prioritize your own well-being above all else. Don't allow them to re-enter your life and cause further harm. If you found this video insightful, we would greatly appreciate your comment below and encourage you to consider subscribing to our channel, as it greatly supports us in providing valuable content. I trust everyone is enjoying a splendid day. Empaths can typically be categorized into 4 groups: normal, codependent, super, and contagion. It's quite uncommon for individuals to neatly fit into just one group. More often than not, they exhibit characteristics from multiple groups, or even aspects of all 4. Interestingly, I frequently encounter individuals who adamantly declare themselves as super empaths. While this may sometimes hold true, the empath detector test serves as a reliable gauge to ascertain the accuracy of such claims. While some may indeed possess super empathic traits, many assertions stem from misconceptions, a desire for validation, or an attempt to inflate one's importance or abilities. This inclination towards self-validation doesn't necessarily indicate narcissism. Rather, it reflects the empowerment gained from overcoming the toxic behavior of a narcissist. After liberating themselves from such individuals, an admirable feat in itself, they may perceive themselves as super empaths. It's essential to recognize that this achievement is within the reach of any empath, irrespective of their specific traits. However, super empaths are more inclined to achieve this feat effortlessly. It's intriguing to note that mid-range narcissists often claim to be superior empaths, reflecting their inflated self-perception. In their narrative, the super empath emerges as a heroic figure, bravely vanquishing the narcissist against all odds. This narrative paints the super empath as a triumphant warrior, toppling the narcissist while they lament their defeat. Mid-range narcissists often toot the idea that confronting a narcissist head-on is the ultimate strategy for defeating them, oblivious to its counterproductive nature. What they fail to grasp is that such a tactic only serves to fuel the narcissist's ego and exacerbate the empath's emotional turmoil, putting them at greater risk of harm. The dynamics between empaths and narcissists are intricate and multifaceted. An empath who employs rationality and maintains composure understands that engaging in direct conflict with a narcissist is seldom fruitful. However, this realization clashes with the self-image of the mid-range narcissist, who prefers to perceive themselves as valiant warriors rather than shy, feeble individuals. Super empaths, although relatively rare compared to other empath groups, possess a unique insight that allows them to detect disturbances earlier than their counterparts. However, it's crucial to dispel the misconception that super empaths obliterate narcissists with their abilities. Instead, they confront the narcissistic ego without the intent to vanquish or intimidate. The narcissist's reaction stems not from fear of the super empath, but from the perceived threat to their control, prompting defensive behavior. Super empaths harness their heightened sensitivity as a shield for self-preservation, avoiding rudeness even when faced with narcissistic put-downs. Initially, they may react similarly to the narcissist, driven by elevated emotional responses. While they may not immediately recognize the narcissist, they possess an innate ability to discern toxic behavior sooner than their empathic counterparts, asserting boundaries to prevent repetitive mistreatment. Their resistance isn't aimed at dismantling the narcissist's ego, but rather safeguarding their own well-being, akin to Gandalf's iconic stance in The Lord of the Rings, declaring, "You shall not pass." Their role isn't to assail the ego, regardless of its size or stature, but rather to fortify their defenses, establish limits, and prioritize their mental health. Super empaths epitomize a unique amalgamation of traits, with robust empathic qualities overshadowing their egotistical inclinations. When confronted with narcissistic abuse, the narcissist's pride and contentiousness become glaring, contrasting with the emergence of the empath's sense of equity and compassion, prompting them to assert their perspective and righteousness. However, even super empaths may succumb to emotional reasoning at times, persisting in arguments when disengagement would be more beneficial. Nonetheless, their resilience surpasses that of many other empaths, refusing to yield easily in the face of adversity. In the throes of narcissistic devaluation, it's crucial to understand that standing up to the narcissist doesn't necessarily entail losing composure or succumbing to emotional outbursts. Embracing the role of a super empath primarily revolves around demonstrating resilience and determination, advocating for one's own well-being, and recognizing when it's time to sever ties. While adept empaths may engage in battles with narcissists, their primary objective is self-preservation rather than inflicting harm upon the narcissist, aligning with the ethos of super empathic behavior. In moments of heightened emotions, the idea of retaliating against the narcissist might cross their minds, but super empaths are more inclined to distance themselves from the situation and enact self-protective measures, such as initiating a no-contact rule. They eschew engaging in vengeful pursuits, understanding that such endeavors are futile when approached with rationality and a positive self-view. Instead, they prioritize fortifying their defenses to shield themselves from further maltreatment, diligently striving to liberate themselves from the narcissist's figurative chains. Their aim isn't to inflict harm upon the ego, but rather to safeguard their own well-being and reclaim their autonomy. They prioritize self-preservation and personal growth, understanding that the most effective way to deal with a narcissist is not to engage in direct confrontation, but to completely distance themselves. The adept empath, possessing a resilient spirit, is better equipped to endure the narcissist's detrimental behavior during the devaluation phase. While this resilience may not dismantle the narcissist's ego, it can diminish their interest over time, particularly with lower-level narcissists who struggle to assert control over a formidable empath. Although super empaths may not have complete control over their responses to avoid providing the narcissist with further ammunition, they can certainly temper their reactions. By tempering their responses, they can potentially reduce the benefits the narcissist derives, rendering themselves a more challenging target for the narcissist's manipulation attempts. Given their innate empathy, all narcissists initially gravitate towards super empaths. However, certain types of narcissists are more adept at manipulating super empaths than others. Lower-level narcissists often find it challenging to control super empaths and may opt for different types of empaths instead. Their inherent selfishness drives them to carefully select individuals they believe they can dominate, albeit their preference for exerting control over super empaths. It's like they have a preference for codependent empaths over those who exude strength. These codependent empaths can better weather the storm of the narcissist's initial demanding behavior, especially when the devaluation phase kicks in. However, higher-tier narcissists, such as the great or ultra types, view this resistance as intriguing. They relish the challenge, seeing it as an opportunity to hone their manipulation skills. Conversely, mid-range and lesser narcissists are more inclined to retreat when faced with formidable resistance from a great empath. Sometimes, the narcissist may sense that the super empath has caught on to their game and adjusted their tactics accordingly. This realization might prompt the narcissist to consider ending the relationship. So, while a super empath doesn't intend to harm the narcissist, their strength and self-awareness may prompt the narcissist to contemplate ending the relationship, offering the super empath an exit from a toxic situation. Many believe only great empaths possess the power to dismantle a narcissist, but this isn't entirely accurate. The primary reason most empaths refrain from doing so is their emotional attachment to the narcissist. Those addicted to narcissists often possess traits that keep them entangled in a dysfunctional dynamic, such as a desire to heal and rehabilitate the narcissist, a quest for understanding the truth about the relationship, respect for the narcissist's flaws, and an innate sense of morality. These traits don't usually lead to the demise of the narcissist. However, in rare cases, any empath, regardless of their dominant trait, be it super, contagion, normal, or codependent, can dismantle the narcissistic facade. Some refer to this prospect as the poke revenge, or the assassin's revenge. Nevertheless, few empaths reach this point. Their inherent compassion for others often dissuades them from resorting to such drastic measures, especially when they can find a more peaceful resolution. Perhaps super empaths could progress to the stage of assassin's revenge and dismantle the key pillars more effortlessly. However, even they are more inclined towards the no-contact approach rather than resorting to drastic measures. As mentioned earlier, it's not solely super empaths who have the capability to achieve this. Any empath possesses the potential, but whether they will act upon it remains uncertain. Typically, empaths refrain from such actions, as attempting them prematurely could lead to failure due to lingering emotional turmoil. Regardless of whether it's a super empath or a codependent empath, seeking retribution akin to that of an assassin is unlikely. Trying to elicit a response from a narcissist while still grappling with emotional turmoil, especially in the initial stages of implementing the no-contact rule, is futile. Instead, the empath must adhere to strict no-contact guidelines for at least 6 months. This period is crucial for reducing emotional entanglement, allowing the empath to approach interactions with the narcissist in a rational and healthy manner. An empath might eventually dismantle the narcissistic structures and break free from the narcissist's influence if they can distance themselves from their emotions. Once an empath achieves emotional stability and ceases to dwell on thoughts of the narcissist, they may contemplate enacting what's referred to as the assassin's revenge, disrupting the narcissist's control mechanisms. However, this possibility hinges on several factors. Being an empath entails maintaining emotional composure and employing rational, strategic thinking akin to that of a sharpshooter when making decisions. The beauty of this approach lies in the fact that the ego likely won't immediately attribute these actions to the empath, given the passage of time. The narcissist may even interpret these actions as threats from external sources, leading to a sense of bewilderment and confusion. However, timing is crucial for this form of retaliation. If an empath seeks retribution right after distancing themselves from the narcissist, their emotional state will likely be heightened, increasing the likelihood of errors and diminishing the effectiveness of the revenge plan. Moreover, they might find themselves being drawn back into close proximity with the narcissist, forcing them to grapple with their emotions, a process that can be emotionally exhausting. Therefore, regardless of the empath's subtype, it's imperative to maintain distance for a minimum of 6 months. During this period, the empath's emotional turbulence subsides, allowing them to think and act with clarity. If after this time the empath desires to enact revenge on the aggressor, they have the option, although most choose not to. By this point, the emotional tempest has abated, and many empaths no longer harbor vindictive